Can Lionel Messi finally get his hands on the biggest trophy in the sporting calendar? We are gonna find out. Hello and welcome here to Talk SCB and welcome back here to the channel, guys. Like I say, we are going to be looking at Argentina and Lionel Messi today and discussing, can they win the World Cup? That is a colossal question, one that has been on our lips now year upon year upon year since their heartbreak in the final in 2014. It has been a 4 agonising year wait for Lionel Messi, but will it all be worth it this summer in Russia? Can they get the job done? Argentina are going to need a miracle. But if there's one man that can provide it, Messi is that man. First of all, guys, we are going to be looking over Argentina's road to Russia, how exactly they got there, how they performed, and what that qualifying campaign can tell us about the way they're going to tackle this World Cup in Russia. And to be honest, it was a bit of a slog getting through that South American qualifying. Eventually, they did finish third in that qualifying group behind Brazil and Uruguay, but that doesn't really tell the full story of what happened with Argentina right throughout that qualification process. It was difficult, it was tough at times. Lionel Messi had to really drag them through it towards the end, and they had a real fight right up until the last few games to even qualify for this summer's tournament in Russia. Because to be honest, if it wasn't for Messi's hat-trick when it was all out, when it was all on Messi to really drag them, pick them up and get Argentina through that game and to the World Cup, things could have looked very, very different for Argentina, who finished just 2 points ahead of Chile, who didn't even make it. It was really tight. South American qualifying always is a really difficult period to go through. And of course, you look at Brazil at the top of that group, 13 points they finished ahead of Argentina. That's a colossal gap. That really, really is a big gap between the two sides. And in qualifying, there was certainly a gulf in quality. Argentina won 7 out of 18 of their qualifying matches in that period. They drew 7 times as well. Far too many draws for Argentina and 4 losses. Actually losing 3-0 though to Brazil. Very embarrassing defeat in that time. And they particularly struggled in the period where Lionel Messi was suspended, missed the number of games after the altercation he had with a referee. He was also had a few times where he was out injured and unable to play, and when Messi wasn't there, Argentina looked very ordinary, very poor, and often struggled to even win. So all in all, you would have to say that during qualifying, during that phase that Argentina went through over the last few months, Argentina were anything but convincing, they were anything but structured, and they didn't really seem to have a genuine system in place to get results. And then you have to look to George Sampaoli, who was also not convincing during that period. Argentina didn't really seem to have a game plan, an idea, a style, like we really expected when Sampaoli was appointed as Argentina's coach. We thought that he could finally be the man to really base a team around Messi, to mould everything around him, and get a real, genuine title challenge for this World Cup. And he has made some big decisions right throughout his reign so far. He's left Icardi out of the World Cup squad. He's also left the likes of Dybala and Aguero out of teams quite regularly during qualifying, and that isn't really a problem for me. That's not really something that we need to be concerned about, because Messi is the man you need to base your team around. If you need to sacrifice some star names to do that, all being well, go and do it. But even that had some problems. As we saw in many, many games, Messi doesn't only have to score the goals, but he's also got to create them. In this Argentina at times, it's so set up that Messi needs to do everything. He needs to get the ball in midfield, he needs to dictate the tempo, he needs to create chances, and he also needs to be the man getting over the line and scoring them as well. So as good as Messi is, you can't make him do everything. You have to employ a team around him, a real system to get the very best out of him. And that's the important thing here though. Argentina did qualify. They did eventually get there in the end, and they are going to be in Russia this summer challenging for the World Cup. And that's the most important thing, because with Messi's influence, if they made it to the World Cup now, Sampaoli has had time. He's had several months now to plan, to work on his approach, to get this squad exactly as he wants it, and now hopefully we can see a plan coming into action. A tournament here where the players can pull themselves together, get themselves in the right frame of mind to go and win this tournament, with Messi carrying them to the title. Because make absolutely no mistake about it, Argentina are going to need to hit the ground running in this World Cup. Make no mistake, because they have been placed in a very, very difficult group in Russia, arguably the toughest group of them all, alongside Croatia Croatia, Iceland, and Nigeria. 3 teams there who on their day can all be dangerous, all pose a threat. And I have to say, all 4 of those teams in that group will fancy their chances of qualification. And Argentina certainly cannot take any of them easy. They struggled against less opposition back in South American qualifying. They cannot take this lightly. They've got to go all out, all in, and get these results. But again, having said that, Argentina do have the quality. They should be progressing from this group. They do have issues, there's no denying that. I think their squad is nowhere near as strong as many people actually believe, and we're going to be coming onto their squad, of course. But I still think they have enough in their team to get out of that group. And that's the beautiful thing here. They do have a very tough group, but if they can get out of it, I think that could actually be a massive, massive advantage for Argentina. Because in that group, they will be tested. They will be forced to play close to their maximum level. And if they can get out of it, they will then arrive in the knockout rounds ready to play. They'll have the intensity, they'll have the confidence from getting out of their group, and I think then it'll actually come on their side. It'll actually be a good thing that they've been tested, that they've been forced to play at their maximum, because then they can go into the knockout stages. And sometimes you see it where big teams sort of glide through the group stage and they get to the last 16 and suddenly they'll come unstuck. They'll be surprised by the intensity of their opposition. Argentina should arrive in that last 16 game ready to go, at their best, ready to get a win. And that's what we need to do. That's what we need to see from Argentina if they're going to go far here. But again, we have to make absolutely no mistake here. If Argentina are going to achieve anything at this World Cup, these players, this coach, they are going to need to play at their maximum. They're going to need a slight miracle to do it. But it is possible that Argentina could win this summer, and it is time to talk about the players they have, the players that are going to Russia. And for me, are they a world-class team? No. Do they have some world-class players? Possibly. I think there's certainly players in that team that can make a difference. I also think there's players and gaps in that team where they need a lot of work. But if you take away Messi, it's a fairly average group there that should just about get over the line, maybe get out of their group. But with Messi, they become a different animal. With Messi, you give yourself the tools, the ammunition to do something special. And if the entire Argentina believe, if they come together as one, if they have a system, if they work hard, you've seen it in the past, teams can go far with that kind of will. And when you talk about Argentina's squad, you often hear about the expansive players they have in attack. People often call it a world-class team for that reason. But just count with me, guys. Gonzalo Higuain, Sergio Aguero, Lucas Prato, Lucas Alario, Mauro Icardi, and Dario Benedetto. All of those strikers in the entire qualifying period for this World Cup. How many goals do you think they managed? The answer to that is 3 goals. 3 goals amongst all of those players. And that just goes to show Argentina's squad may not be all that. And it's not all about star names either, because like I say, it's about that team ethic. And for me, Sampaoli does have the right idea about these star names. He's left Icardi out the team, and make no mistake here, Lionel Messi is not a dictator. Lionel Messi has not picked this squad. It's not about not inviting his friends. It's not about he's not friends with Icardi, so he's not going. Sampaoli is picking this team based around Messi, because that's how it should be. You'll hear in the press that Messi's picking this guy and he wants this guy and he wants this guy. That is not true. Sampaoli will be picking this team to play best with his best player, who is Lionel Messi, and that is exactly how it should be. He should be surrounding Messi with competent players who can stick to a system, who will work hard, and they can be compact in their shape, because Messi then can do his thing and take them far. He could lead them to the World Cup if he was surrounded by competent players in a competent system. And that's why Lionel Messi himself was so full of praise for little-known 22-year-old Boca Juniors attacker Cristian Pabon. After their recent friendly against Haiti just a few days ago, when Messi scored a hat-trick, he came out after the game, and the one player that he spoke about was the lower profile Cristian Pabon. He said these exact words: "I've found a partner on the pitch in Pabon. He's quick, he's unique. Pabon offers something completely different in this Argentina team. He finds space, he runs in between the centre-backs, and he runs in between the full-backs, and that can help me a lot." That is exactly the point I'm trying to make. It's not all about star players. It's not all about star quality. It's about having a team that works in a way to get Messi at his best, and more importantly, allowing him to really be in the right areas, to give him that space that he needs, to allow him to come forward, not always have to drop deep and get the ball himself. And that's the massive, massive thing here, and that's why it's always so frustrating for me when I hear Argentina fans say Messi's not the same with Argentina. Argentina as he is for Barcelona? Well, of course he's not going to be. That's absolutely obvious, because we at Barcelona give him the absolutely perfect platform to go and perform at his very best level. We give him the system, we give him the players, we give him the position that he wants on the field. Argentina have to do that. Argentina need to base every single thing they do around the best player of our generation, because he can decide games. And as of yet, Argentina have failed to do that. Sabella came the closest in 2014, and that was basically just by being a lot more defensively solid. Argentina in the World Cup in 2014, they were good at the back, they were solid, they kept the shape. Messi got a few goals, Messi got a few assists, and they came close to winning the World Cup. The only hope that I have right now is that come Russia, Sampaoli can sit down, he's got an idea, he's got a vision, and he might finally have a plan to give Messi that freedom, give Messi that structured team around him of players who will work hard, give him space, give him time on the ball. And if you do that, Messi does have the tools to win this World Cup for Argentina. He does have the quality, he does have the talent. And could this finally be the year where Messi upsets all the odds, where Messi goes one step further than he's ever gone before? The one trophy that he's always dreamed about, always wanted. Can he do it? It's the World Cup!